The message arrived on a Tuesday morning, cutting through every communication channel on Earth, like a knife through silence. Sarah Chun was drinking her coffee in the United Earth Defense Command Center when the screens flickered and died. Then came the voice, cold, mechanical, speaking in perfect English. "People of the third planet," the alien voice said, "you will submit to the Zarkonian Empire within 7 solar cycles, or face complete destruction." Sarah nearly dropped her mug. Around her, the command center erupted into chaos. Officers shouted orders while technicians frantically worked their consoles. But the alien broadcast continued, drowning out human voices. "Your species has expanded beyond your homeworld without permission. You have built weapons without approval. You have shown defiance where you should show respect. The great Zircon himself has decided your fate." Admiral Jung-Hoon Park stood at the center of the room, his face stone cold. Sarah had served under him for 5 years, and she had never seen him look worried. Today it was different. Today, fear flickered in his dark eyes. "Sir?" called out Lieutenant Min-Jun from the communications desk. "The signal is coming from everywhere at once. Every satellite, every radio tower, every computer on Earth." The alien voice grew louder. "You have 7 days to surrender your weapons, dissolve your governments, and prepare for occupation. Resistance will result in the elimination of your entire species. The Zarkonian Empire has conquered 1,000 worlds. Earth will bow or Earth will burn." Then, silence. Sarah looked around the room. Faces pale, hands shaking, eyes wide with shock. This was humanity's first contact with alien life, and it was a death sentence. "Get me the president," Admiral Park ordered, "and contact every military base on the planet. Emergency Protocol 7 is now active." Sarah knew Protocol 7. It was the plan they hoped they would never use, the last stand scenario. Every human military force would unite under one command. Every weapon would be prepared for a final battle. "Sir," she said, stepping forward, "what are our chances?" Park looked at her with tired eyes. "Against an empire that has conquered 1,000 worlds? With technology we don't understand?" He paused. "Honestly, we're probably going to die." But then something changed in his expression. The fear disappeared, replaced by something harder, something angrier. "But we're not going down without a fight." Over the next 6 hours, reports flooded in from around the world. The aliens, the Zarkonians, had ships positioned throughout the solar system. Massive vessels, dark as space itself, waited beyond Mars like hungry wolves. Military satellites counted at least 50 ships, each one larger than anything humans had ever built. Dr. Seo-Yeon Kim, Earth's top xenobiologist, studied the limited data they had gathered. "Their ships use some kind of dark matter shielding," she reported to the Emergency Council. "Our sensors can barely detect them. And their energy readings, double quotes." She shook her head. "One of their smaller ships could probably destroy our entire Pacific fleet." "What about their ultimatum?" asked President Martinez via hologram from the secure bunker in Colorado. "Could we negotiate?" "Negotiate?" Admiral Park laughed bitterly. "They didn't come here to talk. They came here to collect another trophy for their empire." Sarah accessed the global defense network from her station. What she saw made her stomach drop. Earth had approximately 12,000 military spacecraft scattered across the solar system. Most were small patrol ships or cargo vessels. Their largest battleships were nothing compared to what waited in the dark beyond. "Mars, we need to evacuate the civilian populations," suggested General Thompson from the European Defense Union. "Evacuate to where?" Park replied, "They control space. They control the exit routes. We're trapped on our own planet." As the day wore on, humanity's leaders argued and planned. Some wanted to surrender immediately. Others demanded a fight to the last breath. But Sarah noticed something else happening in the lower ranks, something the politicians and generals missed. The soldiers weren't panicking anymore. The fear was still there, but it was changing into something else. Into anger. Into determination. Lieutenant Chun walked up to Sarah's station. "My sister just enlisted," he said quietly. "She's 17. Lied about her age. Why?" Sarah asked. "Because she said if we're going to die anyway. She wants to die fighting." Sarah looked around the command center. She saw the same expression on dozens of faces. Young and old, experienced veterans and fresh recruits, all wearing the same look of grim determination. Humanity had never faced extinction before, but they were about to learn what they were truly capable of when pushed to the edge. The Zarkonian Empire had conquered 1,000 worlds, but they had never conquered Earth. Day 3 after the ultimatum, and Earth had transformed into something unrecognizable. Sarah Chun stood on the observation deck of Luna Base, watching the organized chaos below. Thousands of ships moved through space around Earth's moon, not just military vessels, but converted cargo haulers, mining ships, even luxury yachts fitted with weapons. Humanity was preparing for war with everything they had. "It's not enough," said Dr. Zex Williams, the theoretical physicist who had joined their team 2 days ago. He adjusted his thick glasses and pointed at the tactical display. "Even with every ship, we can get space-worthy. We're outnumbered 50 to 1. Admiral Park's voice crackled over the intercom. "All senior staff to the briefing room. We have new intelligence." Sarah and Zex made their way through the crowded corridors. Luna Base, normally home to 300 people, now housed over 2,000. Scientists, engineers, pilots, and soldiers from every nation worked side by side, unified by the simple fact that they might all die together. In the briefing room, Admiral Park stood before a holographic display showing the Zarkonian fleet. The alien ships looked like black daggers against the stars, each one bristling with weapons. "We've been studying their technology," Park began. "Dr. Kim has made some interesting discoveries." Dr. Seo-Yeon Kim stepped forward, her face pale but determined. "The Zarkonians rely heavily on energy shields and plasma weapons. Their ships are incredibly advanced, but they have one weakness. They've never encountered unpredictable tactics." "What do you mean?" asked Captain Rise from the Mars Defense Force. "They've conquered 1,000 worlds," Kim explained. "Every species they've faced has followed logical military doctrine. Organized formations, predictable strategies, conventional weapons. But humans... double quotes. She smiled grimly. "We don't always do what makes sense." Sarah leaned forward. "Are you saying our chaos could be an advantage?" "Exactly." Kim pulled up combat footage from Earth's military history. "Look at how humans fight. Kamikaze pilots, guerrilla warfare, soldiers charging machine gun nests to save their friends. No other species does this. The Zarkonians have never faced an enemy that fights with heart instead of just logic." Admiral Park nodded. "Which brings us to Project Blackout." A hologram changed, showing a massive construction site hidden behind Earth's moon. Sarah gasped. Hundreds of ships worked together, building something enormous, a vessel larger than anything humanity had ever attempted. "We've been working on this for 18 months, Park continued. "A deep space exploration ship designed to carry 10,000 colonists to distant stars. But in 3 days, we've converted it into something else entirely." The ship on the display looked like a mobile city. Dark armor plating covered its hull, and weapon systems jutted from every surface. It was ugly, intimidating, and completely human. "We're calling it the Defiance," Park said. "And it's not alone." The display expanded, showing dozens of similar vessels under construction throughout the solar system. Some were converted colony ships. Others were massive mining platforms fitted with military hardware. Each one looked different. each one built with whatever materials were available. "Ladies and gentlemen," Park announced, "meet humanity's Black Armada." Lieutenant Min-jun raised his hand. "Sir, how are we powering these ships?" Their enormous Dr. Williams grinned for the first time since the crisis began. "Nuclear reactors. Lots of them. We're running every power plant on Earth at maximum capacity and routing the energy through quantum transmission arrays. It's completely insane and probably impossible." He paused. "Which is exactly why it might work." Sarah studied the technical readouts. The ships were monstrous, half the size of the Zarkonian vessels, but packed with human ingenuity. Missile systems that could fire in every direction, armor made from compressed asteroid material, and engines that burned so hot they turned space itself into a weapon. "The Zarkonians expect us to meet them in traditional fleet formation," Park continued. "Instead, we're going to hit them with everything at once. Coordinated chaos. Every ship captain has complete tactical freedom. No formation, no predictable patterns, just pure human stubbornness." Captain Chun, Sarah's older brother, stood up from the back of the room. She hadn't seen him since the crisis began. He'd been commanding a deep space patrol near Jupiter. "Admiral," he said, "my crews are ready. We've been modifying our ships with ramming capability. If we're going down, we're taking some of them with us." Around the room, other captains nodded in agreement. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. These people weren't just preparing to fight, they were preparing to die in the most spectacular way possible. "The Zarkonian Empire has conquered 1,000 worlds," Park said, his voice carrying to every corner of the room. "But they've never conquered a species that builds weapons out of hope and powers their ships with pure spite." Through the viewports, Earth hung like a blue jewel against the black of space. Beautiful, defiant, and worth dying for. 3 days until the ultimatum expired. The Black Armada was almost ready. Asterisk. The 7 days were up. Sarah Chun gripped her command console aboard the Defiance as proximity alarms screamed throughout the massive ship. Through the viewports, she could see them coming, 50 Zarkonian vessels, emerging from the darkness beyond Mars, their sleek forms cutting through space like silver death. All stations. "This is Admiral Park," the voice echoed through the ship's corridors. "The enemy is approaching Earth's outer defense perimeter. All Black Armada vessels, prepare for combat." The Defiance shuddered as its massive engines roared to life. Around them, humanity's makeshift fleet spread across space-converted mining ships, retrofitted cargo haulers, and military vessels that looked tiny compared to the approaching alien armada. "Incoming. Transmission," reported Lieutenant Min-jun from the communication station. The main screen flickered, revealing an alien face that made Sarah's blood freeze. The Zarkonian commander had pale gray skin stretched tight over sharp bones and eyes like black holes. When it spoke, its voice was like grinding metal. "Humans of Earth," the creature said, "your 7 days have expired. You have not surrendered. You have instead chosen to meet us with these primitive vessels." The alien's mouth twisted into what might have been a smile. "Very well. We are Zircon, High Commander of the Zarkonian Third Fleet. We will make your destruction quick." Admiral Park's response was broadcast across every human ship. "This is Admiral Jung-hoon Park of the Earth Defense Force. You want our planet? Come and take it." The alien commander's expression didn't change. "So be it." The Zarkonian ships accelerated, their energy shields shimmering like soap bubbles around sleek hulls. They moved in perfect formation, a disciplined wall of destruction advancing on humanity's chaotic fleet. "First wave. Execute pattern crazy," Park ordered. Sarah watched in amazement as 50 human ships suddenly scattered in every direction. No formation, no logical pattern, just controlled chaos. The Aurora, a converted luxury liner, spun through a barrel roll while firing missiles from its makeshift launchers. The Iron Will, a former asteroid miner, charged straight at the alien fleet with its mining laser blazing. The Zarkonians hesitated for a split second, clearly confused by the unpredictable attack. That hesitation cost them. Captain Chun's voice crackled over the radio from his modified patrol ship. Ramming speed. For Earth. His small vessel, packed with explosives, slammed into the shields of a Zarkonian cruiser. The explosion lit up space like a new star, and when the light faded, both ships were gone, but the alien shields had failed. Direct hit, shouted Dr. Zex Williams from the sensor station. Their shields are down on the lead vessel. The Defiance opened fire with everything it had. Missile pods launched their entire payload. Railguns fired solid slugs at incredible speed, and laser arrays painted the darkness with deadly light. The damaged Zarkonian ship staggered under the assault, its hull cracking like an eggshell, but the aliens weren't helpless. Their plasma cannons responded with devastating accuracy. The mining ship Deep Digger simply vanished in a flash of green energy. The converted yacht Starlight broke apart as alien weapons tore through its improvised armor. "We're losing ships fast," Sarah reported, watching the tactical display. "But we're hurting them too." Indeed, 3 Zarkonian vessels were already damaged, and 1 was completely destroyed. For an empire that had conquered 1,000 worlds, they seemed genuinely surprised by human tactics. Dr. Seo Yan Tian's voice came over the intercom. "All ships, this is command. We've analyzed their combat patterns. They expect logical responses to their attacks. Give them something illogical." The human fleet responded with typical creativity. The mad scientist, a research vessel commanded by a former circus pilot, began spinning wildly while firing in all directions. The bulldozer, a heavy construction ship, charged straight into the alien formation with its fusion torch blazing like a medieval knight's lance. "Commander." Zircon's image appeared on screen again, and for the first time, the alien looked uncertain. "What manner of beings are you? This is not warfare, this is madness." Admiral Park's laughter echoed across the fleet communications. "Welcome to humanity, you bastard." The battle raged for 3 hours. When it ended, 27 human ships were destroyed or crippled. But the Zarkonian fleet had lost 8 vessels, and the survivors limped back beyond Mars' orbit. As the alien ships retreated, every human vessel still capable of communication erupted in cheers. They had done the impossible. They had made the mighty Zarkonian Empire retreat, but Sarah knew this was just the beginning. Through her viewport, she could see more alien ships gathering in the distance. Hundreds of them, arriving from deeper space. "Sir," she reported to Admiral Park, "long range. Sensors are picking up massive enemy reinforcements. It looks like ... She swallowed hard. "It looks like the entire Zarkonian Armada is coming to Earth." Park nodded grimly. "Then we'd better get ready for the real war." 5 days after the first battle, the Zarkonian Empire arrived in full force. Sarah Chun stood in the command center of the rebuilt Defiance, watching the sensor readings with growing horror. The main display showed a wall of alien ships stretching across space over 300 vessels of various sizes, led by a massive dreadnought that dwarfed everything else in the system. "Dear God," whispered Dr. Zex Williams, "that command ship is bigger than our moon." Admiral Park's voice was steady despite the overwhelming odds. "All Black Armada vessels, this is your final briefing. Intelligence reports indicate this is the Zarkonian Empire's first fleet, their most elite forces. Commander Zircon has called for reinforcements from the core worlds." Through the communication channels, Sarah could hear the voices of captains across humanity's fleet. Captain Maria, Santos of the converted cargo hauler Steel Rain. Commander Thompson from the military cruiser Valor. Her own brother Chun, now commanding a squadron of modified patrol boats. Hundreds of voices representing the best and worst ships humanity could assemble. Asterisk, sir, reported Lieutenant Minjun. We're receiving another transmission from the enemy fleet. The screen shifted to show Commander Zircon, but he looked different now. His pale features were twisted with anger, and his black eyes burned with something that might have been respect or hatred. Admiral Park of the Humans. Zircon began, his metallic voice echoing through the command center. You fought well in our first encounter. Better than any species we have conquered in 3 centuries. For this reason, I offer you one final chance to surrender with honor. Park stepped forward, his uniform crisp despite the sleepless nights and constant stress. Commander Zircon, you've seen what happens when you threaten our home. Here's our counteroffer. Leave our system now, and we won't follow you back to your empire. The alien commander actually laughed, a sound like grinding machinery. Your arrogance is admirable, human. But look around you. My fleet could destroy 100 worlds. Your ragged collection of converted civilian ships cannot stand against the might of the Zarkonian Empire. Maybe not, Park admitted, but we're going to try anyway. The transmission ended, and space erupted into chaos. The Zarkonian fleet advanced in perfect formation. A disciplined wall of destruction that had conquered star systems across the galaxy. Their plasma weapons reached out like deadly fingers, and human ships began dying immediately. But humanity's Black Armada didn't fight like any fleet the aliens had ever faced. The Crazy Horse, a converted mining platform, launched its entire complement of excavation charges directly into the alien formation. The explosions wouldn't destroy the shielded enemy ships, but they created massive electromagnetic pulses that disrupted Zarkonian sensors. Using that cover, Captain Santos led her squadron of cargo haulers in a suicidal charge. The steel rain in her sister ships had been modified with ramming prows and filled with every explosive humanity could manufacture. They punched through the alien line like bullets through paper, detonating inside the enemy formation. Pattern insanity is working, Sarah reported as she tracked the battle. The aliens keep trying to form organized responses, but we're not giving them anything organized to respond to. Dr. Seo Yeon Kim had joined the battle aboard the science vessel Discovery, using her knowledge of Zarkonian technology to target weak points. All ships focus fire on the junction points where their weapon pods connect to the main hull. Their armor is weakest there. The battle raged across millions of cubic kilometers of space. Human ships fought with desperate creativity. A hospital ship converted into a missile platform. Construction vessels using their industrial tools as weapons. Even a few racing yachts that zipped between the massive alien dreadnoughts like angry wasps. But the numbers were overwhelming. For every Zarkonian ship that fell, humanity lost 5. The beautiful chaos of the Black Armada was slowly being ground down by superior firepower and technology. Sir, Sarah called out as another wave of explosions lit up the tactical display. We've lost 40% of our fleet. The Iron Will, Starjumper, and New Hope are all gone. Admiral Park's jaw tightened. What about the special project? Ready for deployment, confirmed Dr. Williams from his station. But sir, we've never tested it at this scale. It could destroy everything in the system, including us. Through the viewport, Sarah could see the Zarkonian dreadnought advancing toward Earth. Its weapons were larger than most human ships, and its shields shimmered with enough energy to power entire cities. Park looked around the command center at his exhausted crew. They had given everything they had, and it wasn't enough. The aliens were winning. Deploy Project Nightmare, he ordered quietly. Sarah's hands flew over her controls, sending authorization codes to hidden installations throughout the solar system. All stations, this is Defiance Command. Execute Nightmare Protocol in 30 seconds. The fate of humanity now rested on their most desperate gamble yet. Asterisk. The countdown reached 0, and space itself began to scream. Sarah Chan watched in awe as Project Nightmare activated across the solar system. Hidden installations on asteroids, moons, and space stations suddenly came online, generating massive gravitational fields that twisted the fabric of reality itself. "What have we done?" whispered Dr. Zex Williams as his instruments went crazy. The answer came from Dr. C.O. Yeon Kim over the fleet communication system. "We've turned our entire solar system into a weapon." The Zarkonian fleet, caught in perfect formation, suddenly found themselves trapped in artificial gravity wells. Their sleek ships, designed for deep space combat, began colliding with each other as gravitational forces pulled them in impossible directions. Commander Zircon's image appeared on the main screen, his pale features twisted with shock and what might have been fear. "What sorcery is this? You cannot control gravity itself." Admiral Park's voice carried across every human ship. "You're right. We can't control it. We can only unleash it. Welcome to human engineering. We build things that probably shouldn't exist." Massive Zarkonian dreadnought tried to break free from the gravitational trap, its engines straining against forces that bent starlight itself. But humanity's desperation had created something beyond conventional physics. "All ships," Park ordered, "while they're trapped, hit them with everything we have left." The surviving vessels of the Black Armada responded with their final assault. The Defiance fired every missile in its arsenal. Captain Santos, somehow still alive in her battered steel rain, rammed her ship directly into a Zarkonian cruiser's engine section. The converted hospital ship, Mercy, used its medical lasers to surgically target alien weapon systems. But the most devastating attack came from an unexpected source. "This is Captain Chun." Sarah's brother's voice crackled over the radio from his tiny patrol boat. "I'm making one last run at their command ship." "Chun, no." Sarah screamed into her communicator. "Your ship can't penetrate their shields." "Maybe not," her brother replied calmly. "But I'm not planning to shoot at their shields." Sarah watched in horror as Chun's small vessel, loaded with every explosive they could find, dove straight into the gravitational maelstrom surrounding the dreadnought. Instead of hitting the shields, he aimed for the gravity well itself. The explosion was unlike anything in human history. When Chun's ship detonated inside the artificial gravity field, it created a cascade reaction that tore through the Zarkonian formation like a deadly chain reaction. The alien dreadnought, caught between colliding gravitational forces, simply came apart. Its hull cracked like an eggshell, spilling atmosphere and crew into the vacuum of space. Commander Zircon's final transmission was barely coherent. "Impossible. No species should possess such weapons. The Empire must know ... double quotes." And his ship was gone, consumed by the gravitational storm that humanity had unleashed. The battle ended as suddenly as it had begun. When the artificial gravity fields finally collapsed, over 200 Zarkonian ships floated dead in space. The survivors, less than 50 vessels, fled toward the outer system, their perfect formation shattered, their invincible reputation destroyed. Sarah stared at the tactical display, hardly believing what she saw. Scattered across millions of kilometers were the wrecks of both fleets, but Earth still hung blue and beautiful in the distance. "Damage report?" Admiral Park requested quietly. Lieutenant Minjun's voice was hoarse with exhaustion. "We've lost 80% of the Black Armada, sir. But the Zarkonian First Fleet is completely destroyed. The survivors are retreating toward the edge of the system." Dr. Williams looked up from his sensors. "Sir, we're detecting massive energy signatures from deep space. More Zarkonian ships are coming, but ... quotes." He paused, checking his readings again. "They're not approaching. They're holding position at the system's edge." A new transmission arrived, not from the retreating Zarkonians, but from something much larger. The voice was different from Zircon's, older and somehow more respectful. "Humans of Earth, the alien voice began. "I am High Admiral Vextar of the Zarkonian Imperial Fleet. We have observed your battle with Commander Zircon's forces. In 3 centuries of conquest, we have never encountered a species capable of such creativity in warfare." Admiral Park stepped forward. "Are you here to avenge your fallen commander?" "No," came the surprising reply. "We are here to offer terms. The Zarkonian Empire recognizes Earth as a sovereign world. You have proven yourselves worthy of independence through trial by combat. We will not trouble your system again." Sarah felt tears running down her cheeks. Around her, the surviving crew members were hugging each other, laughing and crying at the same time. But Admiral Park wasn't finished. "And if other alien empires threaten Earth?" High Admiral Vextar's response carried across the stars with something that sounded almost like admiration. "Then they will face the same fate as Zircon's fleet. The galaxy now knows Earth bows to no one." As the Zarkonian ships departed, Sarah looked out at the stars. Humanity had faced extinction and survived. They had been demanded to bow down, and instead had risen in defiance. The Black Armada was broken, but humanity's spirit burned brighter than ever. Asterisk,